So you returned to Brazil after 7 months. And what happened next? You're already living the music officially now, right?
Yes. Look, my memory is kind of bad. I don't know if, for example, Sexo was before or after the ship.
Really?
Yes.
What year did you go on the ship? You don't remember.
What year did I go on the ship? 2017?
Wow, that's recent. It's been 8 years, right? Right?
Recent, right?
Recent. 2017. In 2017 you already had 3 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm saying it's close. 2017 wasn't that long ago, you know?
Yeah, I think Sexo came after.
Really?
That's right.
So do you remember how the invitation came about? What was that?
Of Love and Sex?
Yes.
I remember. Fabiano, who is another wonderful person I love dearly, who is the musical director, along with Lucas Macier of Amore Sexo, sent me a message on Facebook. That was the Facebook era, right? It redirected my professional life. Luckily, I had Facebook, asking if I was up for doing a test for a show, but he couldn't say anything.
Amore Sexo? Don't know. Aired on Globo. It's not on anymore, right?
No, unfortunately not.
What's the name of that girl?
Fernanda Lima.
Fernanda Lima was the host. I think it ran for at least 4 or 5 years.
Yes. Around that, exactly. It was a really cool show. On Globo, a big show like that. It had a very good audience. And that, the setup of being the show's band, right? Where you play with various artists who go there to perform and do the jingles, right? The openings. Including the singer was Pablo Vittar.
Okay.
At the time of that first season I did. But then what happened? Fabiano sent this message asking if I was up for doing the audition. I've always been very much like, oh, I don't know what term to use. But I looked at the message and said, okay, but how am I supposed to know if I'm interested in this job if you don't tell me what the job is, what the pay is, you know? Like, the guy is a director at GLOBO sending me a message. And I'm like, well, but that's complicated, right? Am I going to audition for something I don't even know what it is? Then he, all sweet, he's very nice. He said, oh, okay, but don't tell anyone. It's for Amor es Sexo. Then I said, oh, okay, cool. I'm interested.
Did you play it cool?
So I went to their studio, and the audition was kind of... They gave me a bass. Oh, play this song now, without... They didn't send me anything to learn, right? He just played a song, and I had to figure it out. And, well, that's my specialty, right? Because my ear, metal, many years developing my ear. And then they really liked it and said...
Do you remember what the song was?
No, there were several. They played a few, we had a chat. He said, oh, cool, we really liked it. So what's the deal? The first episode of this season is going to be about feminism. So we want to have a woman in the band. And we thought, if you're up for it, then record this episode, just the first episode. I said, of course, why? Lucas Macier, who is the other musical director, is a bassist. And he played in the show's band. He was the director and bassist, but then he was giving up his spot for this first episode to make it more coherent, you know, in some way, to bring more representation. So I would record just this first episode, and I thought it was wonderful. Of course, very cool. The whole process was really awesome, very fun. But it's funny too, right? I see nowadays when I watch the footage, I was so concerned with the sound aspect, you know, to sound as perfect as possible. And you can see that this is my total focus, that there's not much performance, right? And nowadays I understand that TV is also very much about performing, right? And then you start developing things gradually, right? But anyway, it was really cool. I loved it. I thanked everyone. Then Lucas went and recorded the second episode. One fine day, Fabiano calls me, Alana. So Lucas was riding a bike, fell, and broke his collarbone. Can you do the whole season? Wow, I don't know what to feel, right? Like, poor Lucas. But I also thought it was really crazy, right? What an opportunity, right? Like, it was amazing to do this show.
For how many months was he on the show?
Oh, it was quite a while.
Like a year or so, more or less.
No, it wasn't quite a year, but maybe about 6 months. And it's really cool, because you have to play everything, right? On a TV show, you play absolutely everything. And I met many artists, right? Many amazing musicians. And it was a very, very cool experience. Very intense too. Working in TV is very intense. It's like a school because the day before recording the show, they send you a huge repertoire of everything you can imagine for you to learn by ear and come prepared. And so, it was a great school. I developed a lot as well,
How many songs did you play per day there?
per show.
Per show.
Oh, about 7 or 8. And then there were days when we recorded more than one. And the arrangements were well crafted, you know. They are very good.
The arrangements were done by the team there, right? The production itself, the arrangers there who did it.
Lucas and Fabiano.
I think it's the same, similar music to The Voice, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That system that GLOBO has here. Yeah, a lot of people have come here. I think everyone from The Voice has been here, right? From the team of musicians, right? Almost. So we talked a lot about this process of what it's like, right? The producer sends it, and it's a lot of stuff, right?
It's a lot, guys. It's crazy. It's insanity. And then what was cool is that after I recorded that entire season, there was the next one. And then Lucas said, man, do the season. I liked you playing more than what is playing, you know? And then another interesting thing about this whole sexism thing, right? About how we're never taken that seriously is that I spent an entire season playing, right? And then I remember once I was near Lucas and another person talking, and someone said, Lucas, aren't you going to play in the next season? And he said, man, Lana Betikala plays much better than I do. It will be much better. Then the person, as if right, she would play better than you.
In front of you?
No, I didn't see what I was saying, what I was hearing. I was nearby, like, arranging things. I heard. And then, like, that's it. People who aren't into music, who don't understand music, because Lucas is a producer, he makes soundtracks, he's amazing, he doesn't just play bass, right? So his attention is divided into 1,000 things, right? But like, the person can't conceive that a little girl there, I was even younger, right? Skinny, that fragile being, how can she play better than this man who is dire, you know? I found that curious. Like, I remember it left an impression on me.
Was it the guy who said that?
Yes, it was a guy.
But anyway, so you went to the second season.
And then I recorded the entire second season.
Was it kind of straight away like that?
No, there was a break.
What did you do during that break? You don't remember, do you? Did you work? How did you survive? Musically speaking.
Man, I've never been without work.
But what was the work? Do you remember?
I don't remember. But I've never been without work. Man, I never run out of work. It's one of the most beautiful things in the world. Like, I'm very grateful. And I think that because I believe in it too, it somehow happens, you know? I never worry about not having work. I'm always like, because I also invest. That gives me a sense of calm, you know? Like, I have financial security, right? If I don't work 1 month, it's okay. So I don't get into that. I think when we have a lot of anxiety about, oh my God, I need to, I feel like it kind of blocks things, right? Speaking of something more energetic, which I believe in, I respect those who don't. But I observe this a lot, that this calmness makes a big difference. So I'm always calm and open to work, and it always comes up. I started recording, right? I started doing recordings at home, bought the equipment.
Do you have a little studio?
I do.
So, for example, do you work with producers who send you tracks to add the bass?
Exactly.